Okay, so here we are doing the installation on the works connection hour meter. The GoPro died, so now we've switched to phone. So here you go, Jude. So where we're at right now is we have basically fed the wire where we want it, and I've wrapped it around the coil lead and then sort of knotted it back like that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to zip tie it, that way it can't move. I need to put a couple zip ties on here just to hold it in place, right? Like this. That way it can't go anywhere. And then I'll zip tie the other one, and then the last thing I'll do will be to cut the end of the lead. Now these are all instructions per sort of theirs, and I sort of did it my own way. MacGyvered it a little bit.
So like they gave you
basic instructions, yeah, and you just kind of follow it and you just kind of figure it out. It's not hard. I mean, just as long as you
get the
as
long as you get it.
Yeah, you want it like how it is. Yeah, you're fine. So we'll move this down here as tight as we can. We don't want this. What you don't want is you don't want this backing off, right?
Yeah, you want it to be able to stay on.
So that's the point of that. So
pretty tight.
Yeah, that's tight. Right. This will be. We tighten this up, and then we put a zip tie right there. Another one.
And then cut it.
And then cut it. And that'll be good. So they do not include the zip ties,
Sadly.
unfortunately. So you got to buy them yourself. But I think every mechanic
We'll have them.
should have a zip tie kit. You can get them anywhere. I have a whole bunch. These ones I just bought, I decided to try them out. They're Harbor Freights. They seem to work pretty good. They are a little harder plastic than some zip ties, a little softer vinyl or plastic, I should say. So they tend to be just like that. So it leaves me a little bit to cut off,
and the rest is good.
It can't go anywhere because I've tightened it at the end so it can't back off. And
so what do you gotta do with like all this?
I'm gonna decide where I want to go with it. Yeah. And just get my cutters. And then we'll get rid of that end. These things are dull. Oh, I know why, because it's
right on the edge.
well, I'm hitting the other piece.
Oh.
That's why. Yeah, so see, I back wired it, knotted it. I could have moved this down a little bit, but it's fine. You see how I did it, right? I looped it through to lock it, right?
Yeah.
And I just twisted it back over. So this, we're gonna do this is we're gonna take this.
And then just find a place to loop it over, or zip tie it.
We can actually zip tie it. I'll get some more zip ties. Like I say, these are just little cheapy ones from Harbor Freight. They're on sale for like $1 at Harbor Freight. So buy some and use them. Like I said, they are a little bit harder, so they're not quite as strong as regular zip ties. That's what I've noticed. So I wouldn't use them on anything really hypercritical. So if you pull them hard enough, they break. Unlike the better ones that
can last.
don't break, right? Yeah, they tend to be more flexible. So here we're just gonna run it like this. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna basically bunch it all together. Take this off because I ended up on the wrong side here.
So that's like the spark plug?
That's your spark plug right there. Yeah, so that's what fires the air fuel mixture. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically just fold it back over itself like this.
And do that until it's...
Yeah, and feed it back over to here. Right? We'll pull it over to here. I'll probably put one more zip tie in there. Right?
So, how did they get the Kickstarter to do its thing?
It has a gear that turns the clutch basket, which then turns the crankshaft. So the crankshaft is connected to the clutch basket.
And once you
drive
kick
the
it,
transmission, so all that does is just
spark
there
and
we
then...
go. See, well, that doesn't spark. What sparks is this. That just turns the engine to turn the magneto, which then sparks it. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. We're on this side over here, and you can see where I've zip tied it to the coil, right? And we've got all this extra wire. But all we're going to do is just sort of put it together, right? Like this, right? If you look inside of here, you can see just all this extra wire, right? And we'll just sort of loop it around, and then you can see how it kind of folds into its own self from out of the package. And I'll just make it like this, and you can hold this right here, Jude. I have to stand up. You can grip it. It's a grippy case, better than dropping it. Right? Yeah, zip tie it together, and I'll just feed it. See? You see how I have it like that? Right? We'll just
tie it together.
Tie it and sort of
Tie it again.
stick it in there, right? And then tie it down to something, right?
So it doesn't go moving everywhere.
Yeah, we don't want it. There's two things you don't want. You don't want it shaping, meaning you don't want it rubbing against. Here's the other ones I got. This is just the other package again. They're
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight.
Nothing too special.
Yeah, just you know, like I said, they're not a good quality like the other ones, but they work for stuff like this. So
That gotta be too hard on it.
super good zip ties won't break loose. These ones will, but on wires, there's nothing critical on this. It's just holding the wire in place. It's not like it's holding, you know, something from falling off, which some people use them for. So, yeah, we'll zip tie this down. Try to make it as sanitary as possible, right? Not too tight. Doesn't need to be super tight. Just enough to hold it in place. Yeah. So the main things you don't want, you don't want the wire rubbing against something where it's going to chafe. So where it can rub through the wire. So I think, so you see right here, I think that's a perfect spot. Look, I can put it against the frame right there and zip tie it. So I think that's a great place for it. See, I was always like, and you don't see it. I like to make it where it's sanitary, where you can't see it. It's safe. It's not going to get in the way of anything.
This cutout right here makes for a perfect viewing angle.
Yeah, so look. I can go right through there like this.
And now it's down.
Okay, you don't even know it's there.
Yeah. So inconspicuous.
Yeah. You want it. You don't want it where it looks. I need my razor blades. Razor blades work good for cutting.
But don't let kids have them.
Yeah, generally cut I do. So they work really good at cutting zip ties. Be careful when you don't cut yourself or damage something else. So
Or
you just
hurt anyone.
Yeah, so you just kind of saw through it like that. That.
Boom.
You're done.
Somewhat seamless.
Yeah, so that's done, right? It's not going anywhere. And this is pretty good. This comes right up the top where I wanted it.
And it has some slack.
Yeah, and now I can get, what you want to do is you don't tighten them all the way. That's the secret. If you tighten them all the way, you can't adjust it. You always want to be able to adjust it. All right, so what I do is, you know, well, for that one, I'll put a big one. Right?
Yeah.
So zip tie that together like that. And you just leave it loose. You just kind of set it where you want it. Okay, I want it there. Right? It's okay. And then for these ones, you can just sort of zip tie them together. You see?
Yeah.
I mean, usually it ends up looking better than the factory did it, if you do it right. But you don't want to tighten it up yet. You want it where you can still adjust it.
Yeah.
You see?
And it still has some slack.
Right, that way you can move it if necessary. Okay, I gotta, because you might have to adjust it. Right, so we're going down here right now. So I'll put another one right here just to hold it in place. And sometimes, you know, you can never have too many zip ties.
Unless there's like 30 in one spot.
But they usually don't do that, but you get the point. So hold it right there. Now it's coming down to here, right? And it's right where we want it. You see that?
Yep.
It's exactly where we want it. It worked out perfect. I didn't even have to do too much. So it ended up dropping in. I'll put one more right here. That way it doesn't rub the frame. If you look, I don't want it rubbing the frame, so I'm just going to put it right there. Right? Like that. And so the test right now is, this is what we'll do. We'll get these out of the way. Right? Get the trash out of the way. Not stepping on everything. And then what you do, before you tighten it all up and make sure that's where you want it, you check it and make sure that it moves okay with the handlebars. So what are we looking for? We're looking down there. Right? Okay, that's not going to hit. And you want to look up here, right? And see that, and if you look like this, you can see
it moves fine.
There's no problem. So I think they're pretty good right there. So I'm gonna zip tie it there. That's pretty good, right? Not too tight. This is just wire. It doesn't need to be kung fu grip, right?
Yeah.
See if I can find my cutters. Let's see. I didn't bring my other cutters, so we'll have to make do. I apologize. That's through the box. Have to make do. These aren't proper. We have a cutting function on them, but they're not cutters per se. So they'll work, but they're not.
They're not meant to it.
They're not the best tool for the job. So but they'll make do for now.
Yeah.
You'll get it done and make it look all right. Zip ties hanging all over the place. Right. So like I said, they don't need to be too tight. Oops. Tighten it just a little bit more. And then, so we know that's going to work, right? Next thing is to just check, does that work? And we got to make sure we tighten that up.
Oh yeah.
So before we get too far ahead, we will tighten that down so it doesn't fall off when you're riding. That would be embarrassing, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, the final test
is
to start it, see if it works. So we'll let I'll pull the clutch. If you want to pull the clutch, up to you. There it is. That's cool. And give it some gas. With it. Wow, that was 10,000 RPM? Wow.
I'm a big boy. I love it.
No, we gotta double check. I wonder if it's it could be set. Well, you gotta watch it because sometimes we'll check it. It could be set to two-stroke. So we gotta make sure. So we'll double check it really quick. So go ahead and pause this. You're just supposed to pause it.
That's what I did.
So it's easy to change. If you're on RPM, you just press and hold it for 3 seconds. This thing's super easy. And then it tells you the PR number. If factory's 0.5 and they tell you if it looks like it's idling too high, you're supposed to change it. So, oops. So we had changed it to 1. You can change it to 2, 4, 0.5, 1. So we're going to let it reset and we're going to try it and see what it does, because it seemed like it was revving way too quick. That didn't seem like it was. Okay, so go ahead and fire it up. That seems more like it, 1600 RPM. Yeah, see how that's more normal. Yeah, that seemed more right. I don't think we're hitting 10,000 RPM. So there you go. Isn't that cool? You have a live tack, and then watch, I'll show you something. Hold that right there. So we're going out riding. Hold it straight.
I am.
So then you can, it shows you max RPM. Isn't that cool? There's your clock, right? Hours are 0. And there's your RPM. That's cool. There you go. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Very cool.
Yeah.
$5,000. I'd have to be 30 gear max topped out to do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough.
No, $4,000 is the highest.
So there you go. How to install an hour meter. I found one more zip tie I gotta cut here. So that's how you install an hour meter on your bike, right?
Or a bike.
Yeah. And I guess I was wrong. I thought it had to be closer to the coil.
But
It doesn't have to be. And looking at, again, I didn't follow the instructions. That's my bad. I was just going off memory from before. They show it on this one. You can just put it in the middle if you want. I put it down towards the end. A lot of times that's where they want you to be, is close. But that's okay. You can put it anywhere in there. So
as long as it's within there.
the thing about it, we can always move it.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. So, and you get
2 stickers.
stickers. Yeah.
Works connection. WC. Works connection.
That's cool. Yeah. So we'll just cut this. Oh.
Yeesh.
Adjuster turned on. Okay, I'm gonna see. Oh, yeah, I can get in here. So I can get in right here. And right here. There we go. So to clean it up, we can always move it up to there so you don't see it at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeesh.
All we gotta do is slide it up. You know?
Yeah.
So we can always do that. Move it up there and you'll never even know that it's, you know. Might be too hot to do right now. Let's see.
What happens if you unplug the spark plug right after it turns off?
Well, if you right now, right, it has no spark, it can't run.
So what if you unplug it while it's running?
Well, you'll get zapped.
Oh.
It'll hurt.
What if you're wearing like leather gloves?
Well, therefore it probably will protect you, right? But I don't know how much it'll
Protect you.
Yeah. So. Well, for now it's okay. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for now it's okay. Looks a little more sanitary like that. Alright, so there you go. Once we move it up, you really won't even see it. But that's it. The main thing is you don't really, who's going to notice that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is that you have it right there where you can see it.
Or you just have it in general.
Yeah, just having it right there, it's nice. You know, it's convenient. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to see what you did. All right. Well, there we go. So hour meter on the 125. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions, just let me know. Like I said, it wasn't a couple of minor misses there, but overall pretty good. So works nice, and it's nice to have an hour meter. Very important. That way you just know how many hours are on your bike. You know when to service it. You're not guessing, right? And
It's even better that I have a low fuel alert.
that's a cool feature. Yeah. So all right. So bye for now. We'll see you later.